So what's the difference?
But we're exercising it right now as we speak.
Yeah.
You can do that in China too.
Could do a podcast directly criticizing the Chinese government, and you don't think they would?
They could find you and kill you if they have enough time.
Or simply arrest you if they do. What about because here I am in the United States producing a podcast right now. There will be no repercussions for it,
right?
Because
exactly.
there shouldn't be,
right?
Because we're not doing anything wrong, right?
No, we're sitting in my basement.
I don't know. I don't have such faith in other countries and their systems.
Well, like, what about that guy that he just Googled Tiananmen Square? Mm-hmm. And he got thrown in jail. Yeah. He just Googled that phrase
for God's sake.
Yeah, like he didn't even he wasn't even protesting. For all we know, he just wanted to. He heard somebody say that and was like, "What was that?"
Yeah.
Oh, I'll Google that to find out. And they arrested him.
And that's something. I don't want you to get too glamorized by the culture of Chinese culture. You have to just separate between what you find admirable and beautiful in Chinese culture with what the Chinese government is, because governments these days are not.
I didn't say anything about culture. I'm going there to make some money. I'm going there
for strictly cutthroat business.
Yeah, all right, you mercenary.
It's different. I mean, you can go to Iraq right now and work for Blackwater and make lots of money.
Yeah.
So I mean,
what's funny too is that Blackwater, it's a sinister name to begin with. Yeah. And I remember, you watch spy movies or any kind of media, and there's always some mercenary group and they have some kind of name like that. And I'm just that's kind of cool, but they're not really named those ridiculous name. And then I'm like, Blackwater. I'm like, what? Is this a Tom Clancy novel or something? They
got their name from the swamps in Florida, where they do a lot of their training, and the water is literally black.
Okay.
It's disgusting, sedentary swamps, and they would do a lot of their training in the Florida area. That's where the name comes from.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny that it even sounds sinister, and you in movies and everything, when they have the evil mercenaries that have some kind of sinister name, and you're just the writers wrote that but no, they really do in real life too.
It's just amazing. And I do feel a tinge of racism in the fact that you'll have 6 shows in a row on A&E or History Channel about deconstructing the mafia.
Right.
Let's get to the bottom of that power structure. But look at this motherfucker who runs Blackwater.
Yeah.
What is that but a segment of a mafia? But you don't see shows about him.
No.
You don't see shows about the white shoe boys, the Anglo Europeans who are not Italian. It's just interesting that that dichotomy between, because basically for decades the mafia could be viewed, at least as far as I can decipher it, as basically the mercenary wing of the Illuminati. In other words, the Illuminati, the powers that be, whatever the hell you want to call them, used the Italian mafia as their hitmen, basically.
Right. So in the Kennedy case.
Precisely.
Okay.
People say, oh, the mob killed Kennedy. Well, you know what? You may have a point in terms of the henchman who actually pulled the trigger. Maybe that was a mob contract. But if you think for one second that the mafia was responsible for making those Secret Service agents hop off the back of the limo and stand back so the limo was unprotected, you're out of your fucking mind. If you watch that footage of the Secret Service agent, this is as through their little headpieces, he's getting instructed, back off of the president's limo. The guy shrugs. He puts his arms in the air, turning around to his handlers, his bosses, and saying, okay, I'm going to obey you because
that's what I do.
But why are you telling me to jump off the back of the limo? Open roofed limo. The hood was down. We all know about the Kennedy assassination.
Yeah.
The hood was down. You're telling him to hop off. He's one of the only elements of security the president has at the time. And he's shrugging because he doesn't know what the fuck's going on. I mean,
hey Britt, did you know that I can barely keep a straight face. Did you know that Kennedy had a secretary named Lincoln, and Lincoln had a secretary named Kennedy?
It's true.
Wow.
All right, guys, let's go to a commercial.
Okay. Or are you hardcore prepared? Get hardcore equipped at TacTownGear.com. That's TACTownGear.com. All TacTown gear has been field tested with Canadian and U.S. forces, so we know it's tough. What kind of gear? Our own brands: Arctic Warrior, Homeland Defender, Sandbox Avenger, Urban Peacekeeper. More than 30,000 products, and 90% of it made in Canada and the U.S. See it all at TacTownGear.com. That's TACTownGear.com. Get set 72-hour survival kits, Ultima boots, HW1 gloves, tactical link slings, EMA tactical weapon equipment, everything you need to be hardcore prepared. Deal with TacDownGear.com personnel with more than 25 years experience in military and law enforcement. Call now, 418-844-9111. That's 418-844-9111. Or go to TACTownGear.com. TacTownGear.com. Solutions for your area.
Survival.
Survival.
You must survive. When the going gets tough, you'll survive. You'll be prepared.
We don't die, we multiply.
All right, we got a caller on the show. His name's Bill. He's part of the Libertarian group at Rowan. Let's call him up and try to wake him up a little bit.
Yeah,
Let's
nice.
see if we can get him.
Nicely done. So,
Let's test his skills to see how far he is in his Jedi training.
I don't appreciate his Nextel connection.
Don't be rude to him. He's a really good guy.
Hello?
Bill, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, man?
Yo, glad to have you on the show.
Yeah, welcome.
hey, what's going on?
How's your radio show been doing? You guys doing all right?
Yeah, we're doing pretty good. We had our second show Monday.
That's great. You guys are some kind of libertarian crowd, is that right?
Yeah, the New Jersey Libertarian Party is funding the bill so we can be on community radio and spew propaganda.
That's pretty awesome.
That's great. How do you guys feel about the healthcare bill?
I think everyone on the show is pretty pissed off about it, but I think most Americans are right now, actually.
Yeah, that's the general consensus.
All right, well, how about unemployment? What do you guys think about that? Does unemployment look
I
good?
can hear you. What you say?
How about unemployment? Does that look good?
I think there's nothing really looking good right now in the country, actually.
What do you?
I mean, I don't see any plans to fix unemployment, and usually when the government does have a plan, they kind of screw it up anyway.
What do you have to say about this Christie thing with the teachers union and his email going out saying that he wishes Christie was dead?
Well, the thing about Christie is that I don't support the guy. At the same time, I'm not against this whole cutting of the education funds. I mean, you gotta cut the money somewhere and get back to pay the taxes and stuff. The problem is that he's trying to fix a problem by just taking away money instead of actually fixing the problem, which is getting rid of stuff like what's that term called, tenure.
Yeah.
Actually fixing the bureaucracy in the school system. Instead of just taking away money so they'll get angrier, and then the students won't get the money and they'll all go to bureaucrats.
Well, and it seems like too, they're cutting things like lunch teachers and bus drivers, and not all 9,000 superintendents and vice principals that we have.
Yeah, absolutely. Almost.
Exactly. It's not really going to fix anything. I mean, sure, it'll get some money into the government. I mean, sure, he's bankrupt because of all the corruption, but at the same time, I can't really support it. But I'm not against it. I'm kind of in this weird middle ground where I hope he can fix things.
Right.
This isn't the way to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it's almost as if he looked at the situation and it's like, what cuts could we make to piss people off the most? It would be teachers and the actual people who work hard inside the school,
Yeah.
Well, he's a Republican. The Republicans always cut education, they cut public works. When it comes to Democrats, they don't cut anything and they bankrupt the country. So, I mean, you're screwed either way.
All right, now people...
Oh, that's the key point right there.
That is the key point. You're screwed either way. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, now people...
I've always said that the best way to describe the debate between what's better, Democrat or Republican, is kind of like picking which uncle you want to rape you. I mean,
Well, some people want to know what's the difference between a libertarian and an anarchist. What do you say to that?
Well, the thing is, I think all libertarians deep down inside wish they could subscribe to anarchy, but the problem is it's a stupid idea because it would just lead to ever see Mad Max? It would become that.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to the idea. I think it sounds pretty cool personally. I mean, I like Lord Humongous in the second one, but
Well, listen.
it won't work.
Listen, the only problem I have with Mad Max...
Basically, it's the closest you can be to an anarchist without actually being, an idiot. The smallest government, the most personal liberties.
Yeah,
Always kind of it's the party of a guy with a shotgun telling people to get off its porch.
Right.
Get off my land.
Although, real quick about the Mad Max thing, the guy is driving, Mad Max was driving a V8 around in, when there's no gas. So that was a little,
what's that?
Yeah, what's that all about?
You got guns, lots of guns.
Probably the future.
Yeah.
And once again, I'm not opposed to that because that helicopter thing from the second one looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it did. It did.
Hey, I hear you specialize in Brazil.
Well, I'm specializing in